To launch day for our latest book, Never Give Up. And we're excited to share with you the authors of this book. We'll be interviewing them all day long. And right now we have Teresa Dawn Johnson, who's going to tell us a little bit about who she is and her chapter in the book, Never Give Up. Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
Hi. So why don't you just, we'll start by just sharing, who you are and what you do.
I'm a single mom of two young men, the oldest 28 and the younger one 24. And the older one has profound autism, and the younger one ADHD. During the years of being a single mom, it's been challenging. So just basically a single mom, just living life.
So what prompted you? Why did you want to write a chapter in this book? What about this book spoke to you?
The title itself was me. I was like, I'm that person. I'm the one who never gives up. Even when there are things that come upon me, challenges on my path, I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. This is too much. I've had it, but here recently, and it's not included in this chapter in any way, shape, or form, I've dealt with some health issues, and I wanted to give up. And that quiet time with God, I decided that I wasn't going to. He said, "You're not going to? Why would you start now?" And I'm like, "Okay, I won't." And so one of the things in the chapter that I shared was my son was bullied the beginning of a 6th grade year, and I didn't exactly know what was going on. I think our children try to tell us what's going on, but we're so overwhelmed with the day-to-day life that we're not really truly listening. And so it came upon that we just had to figure out what we were going to do now. You're just thrust into this, and you're just like, okay, what do we do next? What do I do to get my son, he put himself in this trouble. So what do we do to move forward,
Yeah. Well, how has your faith helped you with this attitude, with this never give up attitude and raising your boys?
I honestly didn't know how we were going to get through it. And one of the ladies at my church, she knew a lady, actually a few board members of the Christian school that we were trying to get my son into. And they were just concerned that, yeah, we'd like to have your son, but we also want to make sure that his mood is okay, and that, nothing that anyone else would say on purpose would be insensitive, but would it be okay for him to be at our school, because I didn't want him to end up going to the school or in an environment where he's going to be patted down and treated so severely. He was wanting to get away from the bullies, not being into another school for delinquents. That's not what I wanted for him,
Yeah. And that being bullied is a huge thing. I think a lot of us go through it. I know, one of the chapters I wrote was about being bullied in 7th grade. And I think that, it affects us throughout our whole life. When I sat down to write my chapter at, 50 something years old, and I thought I had that all figured out, and I didn't. So, how are you helping or how did you help your kids to overcome that and to find the resilience and to, step into their own power?
Well, it was actually the woman who helped me with the school board was actually a lady who actually helped with my son in the youth group. So he was very familiar with her. And so it was God stepping in and taking care of us where I didn't know how, just lead me through it, because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. God, just lead me through it. And so it was very, very, very grateful to this lady who helped us out. And it was good for him to be into this other school because the classroom was smaller. They made him accountable for, if he was turning in his week work in a day late, you know, there's consequences for that. They helped him with his organization. It was a good thing. It's not how I wanted it to happen, but you know, we don't. It was the benefit of him being in this school. The way that he got there is not how I wanted it to happen, but it did happen. You know, so we did reap a benefit even through, you know, the bad time. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit? I know you've gone through some health challenges yourself, and you talked about how, you know, you wanted to give up, but you didn't. You know, what got you through that? And, you know, how has your attitude or your mindset changed because of what you went through?
I feel like I have to reach out, not be afraid to reach out. You know, there are other people out there that will help you if you ask. And so you just have to pick up the phone, send out the email just saying, I have this challenge. I would love it if you'd be able to help me. And even if that one person can't help you, they might be able to put you in touch with someone who can. And that's what happened to me about a few months ago with my health challenges. And I just kept asking God, please help me find someone that can help me. And he does answer. Thank God he does.
Right? Yeah. You know, I think about, you know, all the times that, you know, we take care of everybody else,
Mhm.
especially as women. I think, you know, we're just naturally the caretakers, and when we get sick, you know, we don't want anybody else to take care of us because we feel that we have it all together. We should be the strong ones, but we're not always, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
So you want to talk a little bit on that and how you found the strength, and you know what steps you took?
Um, well, exactly. And I don't think I put this in the book, but I became an anti-bully advocate. I was searching online and found the Bully Project movie, and I was talking to area principals to see if they would be interested in having this, you know, shown in their schools. And I found that a lot of the times, even the parents are like me. Like I was just living life, and my son was wanting me to, you know, be homeschooled, and I'm like, I don't see how that can happen. I have take care of your older brother who's autistic, and I work a full-time job. And I think until some of these issues hit home for some of these parents, I don't think that they take notice. And I was even told by a principal, unless you're going to serve hot wings and beer along with the movie, people aren't going to come. And there was the mayor, the chief of police, other principals, some people there that came to support the movie, and there might have been parents that came. But at least I put it out there, and I always ask people if they want somebody to talk over about this with. Um, I hooked up with somebody in Northern Illinois, so we're there as a resource. But honestly, unless it hits home for you, I think a lot of people don't even understand how much of an issue it really truly is.
Yeah, and I know you've become an advocate for, you know, for the autism too,
Mm-hmm.
and you've helped other people. You know, what's been your biggest challenge doing that, or you know, what's been your biggest accomplishment doing that? Who, you know, you want to talk a little bit about that?
I it I don't know. It just makes me feel so great. It gives me wells me up inside when I can answer somebody's phone call when they reached out and give them resources. I may not be the one that eventually helps them out, but at least I can point them in the right direction. It just makes me feel good knowing that I can help other people. You know, I even talked to a neighbor the other day, and uh, her son was coming up to my car, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, he's really interested in cars, and he wanted to come up to yours, and he has autism. And I said, really? And so then I had a 15-minute conversation with her to let her know who my son was, and the involvement that I had locally, and if she ever needed anything, that I could help her find stuff. Her son appeared to be like 6 or 7. It just feels good to be able to have those conversations.
So what's next for you? What do you have planned in the future?
Actually, because of my health issues, I'm going to probably write a book about it. I have a disorder called achalasia, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But there's not a whole lot of books out there on the subject. And it propelled me into that other never give up attitude, where I have to find the right doctor to do the surgery correctly to make sure that I could eat again. And I am eating again. I gained a little bit of weight. I'm doing very well. And I've been in a community on Facebook, and I see these people they all come together struggling with the same thing, helping one another. It's really good to see. But I don't want to have those people, thinking, am I going to always be in this boat for the rest of my life? Is it ever going to get better? I want people to be able to have hope. Honest to goodness, after my first surgery, I was concerned. I was very concerned that I wasn't going to have any hope.
Yeah. So if people want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
I have a link tree. It's linktr.ee/official time with Teresa. That'll give a lot of different ways that you can get a hold of me, because it'll have several different links.
Perfect. So what do you want readers to take away from this book, the Never Give Up book, when they read it?
I want people to feel inspired and not defeated. I want people to know that even as a single parent, you might think that, is this ever going to end? I don't know how many kids one person would have, but they all bring different challenges and struggles along the way, but to persevere and never give up.
So thank you for attending today. We have Action Takers Who Never Give Up is launching today. Head on over to actiontakerspublishing.com/never. Pick up your copy. There's some free gifts over there from the authors, and you'll be able to buy the paperback or the Kindle version over there. Teresa, thank you so much for being a part of this, for sharing your story, and go out and get the book.
One of the things that I've personally found from my experience of working with Action Takers Publishing is that I've walked away with more friends than I had before, because of the relationship that you build with the authors while working in an anthology. I think it's an amazing project to be able to get published. It's a fantastic way to get published the first time, and I've almost seen people who get hooked on doing anthologies, because once that bug is bitten, you feel like you can release more and more and more and more stories, and Linda's got a bunch of titles that I think resonates with a lot of us who live in the real world.